It is the 6th of June 1942, and you are an unfortunate Soviet soldier guarding an undersea ammunition bunker 30 meters deep in Sevastopol, a port city in Crimea now besieged by the German army. All of a sudden, you hear a thunderous boom that is particularly louder than usual, falling over your bunker. You begin to suspect that the Germans are using a heavier caliber artillery. Half an hour later, your suspicions are confirmed when another shell falls, and the bunker begins to show signs of weakness. A few more and we'd be toast, your commander says. You thus debate whether to leave and surrender or risk a possible gruesome death with the explosion of your ammunition bunker. For the motherland, you cry with your commander, as all of you decide to stay put. 7 shells later, a massive 80 centimeter shell fired from the German gun, the Schwerer Gustav, lands straight onto your ammunition depot, where you and the depot erupt into flames in fractions of seconds. This is the historiographer, and today we will explore the brutal history behind Hitler's Wunderwaffe, the Schwerer Gustav gun. The Gustav gun, also known as the Schwerer Gustav or Heavy Gun, was designed by the Krupp Steel Company in 1937. With Germany gearing up to war against France and its neighbors, the intention behind the Gustav was destroying the heavy fortifications on the Maginot Line in France. While calculations on the project's feasibility were made, nothing happened until Hitler personally visited the Krupp Steelworks in Hessen. While the idea of building an 80 cm railway gun capable of firing 7-ton shells at a range of 50 km seemed difficult to achieve, the company's head, Alfred Krupp, still promised Hitler that the concept could be doable based on earlier calculations. Hitler thus agreed on the project in 1937, on the sole basis that the gun be ready by 1940. However, the 1940 deadline came and went, and Germany didn't need this gun to defeat France's Maginot Line thanks to the new German way of waging war, the Blitzkrieg, as the line was simply bypassed. Finally, by 1941, the massive artillery gun was ready, and was displayed to an enthusiastic Hitler in testing grounds in Pomerania. Alfred Krupp, the company's head, personally gifted Hitler the gun as a contribution to the war effort, and the gun was named the Gustav in honor of Alfred's father. With the start of Operation Barbarossa in June of 1941, the Schwerer Gustav finally saw its first action with the aforementioned siege of Sevastopol. Starting in early 1942, the Heavy Gustav was transported piecemeal to the Perekop Isthmus in Crimea, where specialized tracks were built there. Assembling the gun took 5 weeks and a staggering 4,000 men, where the Gustav fired its first shells on the 5th of June, 1942. Operating the gun was another story, as it required 500 men and a reload time of about 35 minutes. Firing only 47 shells on Sevastopol, of which 9 were on the previously aforementioned undersea ammunition bunker, the Gustav's barrel became worn out and was sent back to Germany for repairs. However, the Gustav was soon on the go once more, being called to help in the grueling siege of Leningrad. Yet, the Gustav spent the winter of 1942-43 around the city, never firing a shell on Soviet positions. By 1943, with the German army, the Gustav began its long retreat to Germany, never to be used again. With the German Reich surrounded on all fronts, on the 14th of April 1945, the Schwerer Gustav was deliberately destroyed by the Germans to prevent its capture, where the remaining metal was scrapped in the 1950s. In conclusion, the Gustav gun had a minimal impact on the battlefield, despite it being a colossal feat of engineering. Certainly, it stands as an icon of Hitler's wonder weapons, where these weapons can be summarized into this phrase: maximum effort, yet minimal impact. This has been a brief 5-minute video on the Gustav gun. If you learned something, consider subscribing and sharing this channel to spread history. This has been the historiographer, and for now, see you in the next video.